Welcome back to the CryptoLabs YouTube channel. You know, on Sundays, a bit of a riff, bit of a Sunday sermon. I've got so much on my mind, and I was like, what can I talk about today? Sundays, I do a lot of time journaling, thinking. Actually, I do that every day, but Sundays especially. I start usually at around 5 a.m. until about 7 or 8 a.m. It's all about visioning. It's all about feeling into what I'm being called into. It's all about making the decision of actually stepping into it. Which brings me to what I wanted to chat about today. Now, don't mind the mess. I picked up an old 40s Willys and it's going through some major upgrades. It's super, super cool. It's got a Toyota Helix turbo diesel in it. I enjoy driving this thing more than the R8. You can't take the country out of the boy. I really, really love it. Anywho, so excuse the mess. Actually, it doesn't look that messy unless you really looked down there. Anyways, decision. To cut off, Latin, side, pesticide, suicide, homicide. These are final. There's no coming back. Pesticide, homicide, suicide. We can keep going with it. And so many people say they made a decision. Why do some people win? Why do some people follow through? I think I was looking at member wins today. We had a few people hitting their over $200 per day right now. We had someone hit $1,000 per day, which I believe, as far as we know, that's our fifth member who hit over $1,000 per day in DeFi income. Those are fees generated. Why do some people win? And why do so many say they're going to do something yet never actually follow through on it? They start, it gets hard, and they quit. And this might be a little blunt. Most people do that, and no wonder why most people give up on them as well. Imagine if I just said, I'm gonna do something. And 2 weeks later, I quit. And then I did that over and over and over. I said I was gonna get into shape. And I told everyone about I'm gonna get into shape. And then I did it. And every year, I said the same thing for 5 years, 10 years. Who cares about the fact that no one else would believe in you at that point? You could say, I have an idea for a business. No one would give you money. Hey, I've got this project. I want to fund it. I'm raising capital. No one would give you money. Hey, I'm doing this crypto DeFi thing. Everyone would go say, haha, good luck. But who cares what they think? What do you think about yourself at that point? I know this is brutally honest, but it's something that maybe one person needs to hear. Let me know if anything lands. What do you start thinking about yourself? This was me, by the way, in my 20s. I said I was going to do a bunch of stuff. I never followed through on it. And then I started a business and I quit. And then I wanted to do the simplest of things. Hey, I'm just going to stop watching Netflix. Hey, I'm just going to stop playing video games. And I'd say it to myself, but I didn't believe it. I didn't follow through on stuff. And that's when I remember getting a coach and I was like, hey, I'm going to start following through on the smallest of things. If I say I'm going to have a cold shower every morning, which I went through a phase for like 3 months where I did. And those mornings where I am nice and warm in the shower and I'm like, oh, no one will know. I'll just get out the shower. No one will know. No one will know that I didn't take a cold shower. I remind myself, but you'll know. And it may only be a 30-second cold shower right now, but in a month, it's going to be a decision on start a new business or invest or learn a new skill. And maybe in 5 years, it'll be managing people or having, hundreds of clients or whatever that is. We've got to start with the small stuff. And I see a lot of people making this mistake. Oh, no one will know, so I'll just eat the freaking Cheetos, if that's still a thing, at night. I'll start tomorrow. And we don't understand that eating the Cheetos or skipping out on the cold shower that one morning or skipping out on the workout or starting a DeFi business and quitting when it gets hard, which it will because it's a new skill and there's always, as business owners, there's always a problem to solve. You signed up for it. But you quit on the small thing or you skip on the small thing. It adds up to the big thing. And most people are living lives of, I know this is brutal, but I wouldn't trade. You couldn't give me $1 million to take over most people's lives. That's not a diss. That's not throwing hate. I don't care about their external, what they have. I'm just saying how they show up every day. I'm like, But it's just small choices that we get to make during the day. And those small choices add up to really, really big things. What kind of choice are you making? When you said you've decided, when you've committed, did you actually? Because most people say they've made a decision, but then they change their mind when it gets hard 2 weeks later. That's not a decision. That was like an idea you had. A decision is, I am burning the boats and I am never going back. I am going to make a DeFi business work full stop no matter what. Or I'm going to make my business, whatever it is you do, work. Full stop no matter what. There's no going back. It's not even an option. When I finally quit my job, which I think I was 25, I am never going back to a job no matter what. And that was just my own decision. Nothing wrong with having a job. But here's how extreme it was. I got 40, 50 grand into debt. Just why when people complain about, I don't have any money to start something. Like, dude, I started in $40,000, $50,000 in debt. I had negative balances. Visas and line of credits maxed out. But it was a commitment. I couldn't pay my mortgage. So I had to sell my house at a loss, but I needed some capital so I could continue. There was no going back. I had to I had a BMW. I know, poor me. I had a 6-figure job. I worked on the oil rig, so it sucked. Quit, had a house, had an apartment, a condo, and a BMW. Had to sell a house or a condo because I couldn't afford it. And maybe 6 months after that, had to sell the BMW, moved into a basement suite for $500 a month and rode my pedal bike to the grocery store. A thought of getting a job never crossed my mind. I will die. It was a commitment. I will die before I do. Nothing wrong with having a job, by the way. I'm just unemployable. I'm completely unemployable. It's a decision. It's a commitment. When I committed to crypto and DeFi, it was a decision, decided, a full commitment. Most of my capital, most of my bank balances moved onto the blockchain. I lost 100K in, what was it called? Anyway, it was an algorithmic stable coin. I didn't know any better back then. And I woke up the next day. It was never even a decision it was never even an idea to quit. I didn't entertain the idea. The harder you hit me, the more I'm committed. I was like, okay, obviously I thought I knew a bunch, but I got more to learn. How did I miss that? Decision, decide, and the small stuff adds up. All those small little decisions we make during the day, they add up. It matters. It matters that you do what you said you were going to do today. It matters. It matters more than we think, more than we know. When my life gets overwhelming or there seems to be too much, I'm just like, hey, minute by minute, that I can control. I cannot control anything else, but I can control minute by minute. How do I show up this minute? 7:52. And in 7:53, even if I'm getting hit by life or hit by business or hit by the market, 7:53, how do I show up? 7:54, how do I show up? Next thing you know, it's 8 o'clock at night. And guess how I showed up during that day, minute by minute? At a high level. And so my day was high level and my week was high level. Every month, I look back 3 months and I don't recognize who I was and I don't recognize the life I had. That's how fast life can move. I want that for you. But I can tell you exactly how to do it and what to do, but it's up to you minute by minute to make that decision, decide to cut off. Are we making a decision? I'm cheering for you. Happy Sunday. Let's get it. Looking forward to seeing you during the week. I am in Texas for 5 days, in Dallas, and then in Austin. So I'm doing some traveling, but the content, we'll keep up with it. So subscribe, like the video, blah, blah, leave a comment. Let me know what landed for you. And what I will do is leave some videos up here for your viewing pleasures. We're in something doing now near $300 per day. We're in something, another video doing 100K plus a year in 2 pools, 1 protocol. There's some yield farming stuff, and maybe we'll leave some portfolio stuff here. So do check that out if you feel committed, if you've made a decision. Check it out. With that said, happy Sunday. We'll see you soon. Peace.